Hey, Ethan, Mia said, smiling like nothing in the world could ever go wrong. You're early. Couldn't sleep, I replied, stepping into her apartment. You said you'd be off work today. I am, she laughed lightly, brushing her hair behind her ear. Just catching up on some messages. Her phone was face down on the table. It buzzed once. She didn't move. I noticed that. I noticed everything now. Messages from work? I asked. Yeah. You know how demanding they are. She gave a nervous little laugh. Why, you don't trust me suddenly? I didn't say that. You looked like you wanted to. Mia, I sighed. You've been distant. I just want to know what's going on. Nothing's going on. Then why do I feel like I'm talking to someone who already left? Her smile froze for half a second, then softened. Ethan, you're imagining things. I stared at her. Am I? She crossed her arms. You've been stressed. Maybe from work. You always assume the worst when you're tired. Maybe. I forced a smile. Can I grab some water? Sure, you know where it is. I walked to the kitchen, opened the fridge, and saw a shirt hanging on the back of the chair. A man's shirt. Too big to be mine. Mia, I called. Yeah? Whose shirt is this? She turned from the couch, eyes flicking to the chair for only a second. That? Oh, Chloe left it, I frowned. Chloe's a woman. I mean, her boyfriend's. She was doing laundry here last week. That's new. She never mentioned it before. She doesn't tell you everything. Her voice was steady, too steady. I nodded slowly, forcing a laugh. Right, silly me. She looked relieved that I didn't push. I let her believe that. We ate dinner in silence. I tried to talk about our wedding plans, about the guest list, but her replies were short. I'm not sure yet. We'll figure it out. Let's talk later. Every word felt like she was pushing me further away. After dinner, she excused herself to shower. I stayed in the living room, staring at her phone on the table. It buzzed again, my chest tightened. I told myself not to look. That I was better than this. That trust mattered, but trust already felt dead. I picked it up. The screen lit. One message preview glowed. Daniel. Can't wait for last night again. The phone nearly slipped from my hand. My throat went dry. She came out minutes later, towel around her hair, smiling like she hadn't just shattered my world. You okay? I forced a breath. Who's Daniel? Her face froze. What? Your phone just lit up. I showed it to her. This message. She didn't answer. Mia. My voice broke once. Who is he? She grabbed the phone from me. You shouldn't go through my stuff. I shouldn't have to, I shouted, my voice echoing too loudly. You're my fiancé. She stopped, eyes flickering everywhere but mine. It's not what you think. Then tell me what it is. She sat down, hands shaking. It was a mistake. I swear, I was drunk. It didn't mean anything. Didn't mean anything? I whispered. You slept with someone, Mia. I didn't plan to, she said, tears welling up. You've been distant, busy with work, and So you wanted attention? Her lip trembled. I just wanted to feel wanted again. The words stabbed deeper than any knife. I laughed quietly, choking on air. Wanted? You think cheating makes you wanted? It was one night. I regretted it the second it happened. I stared at her, feeling my heart collapse. You regretted it, but you kept texting him. I tried to stop. I shook my head. You're lying even now. Ethan, please don't leave. We can fix this. Fix this? I stepped back. You broke us, Mia. You broke me. She reached out, tears streaming. Please, I love you. No, I said softly. You love attention. Silence swallowed the room. Only her sobs filled it. I looked around, the photos on the wall, the half-packed wedding invitations on the counter, the tiny pieces of a future that no longer existed. Everything felt fake now. I picked up my coat. Where are you going? She cried. Out! Don't do this, Ethan, please! I already did. I walked toward the door. Her voice cracked behind me. It was just one mistake. I turned, meeting her eyes one last time. No, Mia. It was one truth you couldn't hide anymore. She fell silent, trembling. I opened the door, stepped into the hallway. The world outside felt colder than before, but it was real. As I walked away, I heard her sobbing, begging. For a moment, I almost turned back. Almost. But then I saw that message again in my head. Can't wait for last night again. My hands clenched. My chest burned. I walked faster down the stairs. Through the lobby. Into the night, the air hit my face like ice. My legs felt weak, but I kept walking. My phone buzzed, her name flashing again and again. I didn't answer. I wandered for hours. Through empty streets, past the bakery we used to visit, past the park where I first told her I loved her. Everything looked the same, but nothing felt the same. When the sun started rising, I finally stopped at a bus stop. My reflection in the glass looked like a stranger. Tired eyes, hollow face, silent rage, I whispered to myself. You really thought she was forever. The bus arrived. But I didn't get on. I just sat there staring at the sky turning gold, realizing something terrifying. Part of me still loved her, and that part of me was dying right there, with the sunrise. I don't remember how long I walked. The city lights blurred. My phone kept buzzing. Her name flashed again and again, like a wound that refused to close. Answer me, her message said. Then another. Please, Ethan, talk to me. I turned the screen off. I couldn't listen to her anymore. When I finally reached Leo's building, I stood outside his door, breathing hard. My hands were shaking. I didn't even know why I came. The door opened before I could knock. Dude, Leo said, eyes wide. You look like hell. I forced a smile. Thanks. I was aiming for that. He stepped aside. Get in here. I walked past him, sat on his couch, and buried my face in my hands. What happened? He asked softly. Mia, I said, my voice dry. What about her? She cheated. The word hung between us. Leo didn't speak right away. Then he said, You sure? I saw the message. He let out a low whistle. Damn. Yeah, I laughed bitterly. Damn, he sat beside me. What did she say? That it was a mistake. They always say that. She said she just wanted to feel wanted again. I looked up at him. Can you believe that? He frowned. That's messed up. I didn't even yell, I said. I just stood there, like I didn't even belong in my own life anymore. Leo leaned back. You've been with her for what, 5 years? 6. 6 years, and she threw it away for some guy named, what was it? Daniel? He shook his head. Figures. I stared at the ceiling. You know what's weird? I'm not even angry right now. I'm empty, Leo sighed. That's worse. Yeah. Silence filled the room for a moment, broken only by the sound of the clock ticking. He stood up, grabbed 2 beers from the fridge, and handed me one. Drink. It helps. I don't want to feel better. Then drink anyway. I took it, opened it, stared at the bottle. I kept thinking she'd be the one person who wouldn't hurt me. That's what everyone thinks. I built my whole life around her, I whispered. Our plans, our apartment, our wedding, all of it. Leo didn't interrupt. He just listened. That's what I needed. I even quit that job offer in Chicago because she didn't want to move, I said. I thought I was choosing love. Turns out love wasn't choosing you. Apparently not. I took a sip. It burned going down. She begged me to stay. You didn't? No, I left. Good. I looked at him, surprised. Good? Yeah, he said firmly. Because if you stayed, you'd never forgive yourself. People like her, they break something in you and then act like your forgiveness can glue it back together. I swallowed hard. It hurts, Leo. It actually hurts to breathe. I know. He leaned forward. But don't destroy yourself over someone who threw you away. I stared at the floor. Too late, he sighed. Ethan. I already did, I said quietly. He rubbed his face, not knowing what to say. Neither did I. After a long silence, he spoke again. You're staying here tonight. I'm not letting you wander around like this. I don't want to be a burden. Shut up. You're my friend, not a burden. I nodded slowly. Thanks, he stood up. You need food. You eaten anything? I'm fine. You look like you haven't eaten in days. It's been maybe a day. He grabbed instant noodles from the counter. Then you're eating. I managed a small smile. You sound like my mom, he grinned faintly. Someone's got to keep you alive until your brain starts working again. While the water boiled, I checked my phone again. 17 missed calls. 5 new messages, Mia. Please, Ethan, I'm sorry. Mia, I'll do anything. Please talk to me. Mia, I can't lose you. I turned the screen off again. She's still calling. Block her, Leo said. I can't. Why not? Because I still love her, I admitted. He didn't judge. That'll fade. It doesn't feel like it. It will, he said quietly. One day you'll wake up and realize you didn't think about her for an hour. Then it'll be a day. Then a week. And you'll know you're finally free. I didn't believe him, but I nodded anyway. The noodles boiled over. He cursed, laughed, and served them in 2 bowls. We ate in silence. Remember that time I told you not to rush into proposing? He said suddenly. Yeah. You told me you were sure. I was. He studied me. What do you think now? I think I was in love with who I thought she was, I said. Not who she became. That's honest. I should have seen it. The way she laughed at her phone lately. The sudden late nights. I just didn't want to believe it. You trusted her. That's not a mistake. Feels like one. He looked at me seriously. No, Ethan, the mistake was hers. Something in me broke then. My throat tightened, and before I could stop it, tears filled my eyes. I tried so hard to be enough, I said. Leo. The days blurred together. I didn't know what day it was anymore. Leo asked, You're not going to work? I quit, I said flatly. He blinked. You what? I couldn't stand sitting there pretending everything was fine. Everyone kept asking about the wedding. Ethan, you need a routine. I need air, I muttered. He sighed. You're drowning in your own head, man. I know, I said. But it's quiet there. He didn't argue after that. Most days I just stared at my phone. Mia's posts filled every corner of my screen. Smiling selfies, dinner dates, her and Chloe clinking glasses. Her captions made me sick. New beginnings. Self-love is healing. Healing? She was smiling like the past didn't exist. Leo looked over my shoulder once. Unfollow her, he said. I can't. Why? I want to see how she lies, he frowned. That's not healthy. Neither was loving her. He didn't have an answer. I scrolled again. One post stopped me. A photo of the engagement ring I bought her lying next to a coffee mug. The caption read, Some chapters end for a reason. I felt something in my chest crack again. Leo grabbed the phone from me. You're torturing yourself. I just want to understand how she can look that happy. She's pretending. That's what people do online. Then she's damn good at it. I stared at the wall for a while, then said, Do you ever feel like your life just evaporated? He looked at me. You're still here, am I? He opened his mouth, then closed it. Call your mom. She's been asking about you. I don't want her to worry. She already does. Later that night, I finally called. Ethan. Mom's voice came through, gentle but sharp with concern. It's been a week. Where have you been? Working, I lied. You sound tired. I'm fine, Mom. You don't sound fine. I swallowed hard. Just a lot going on. There was a pause. Did something happen with Mia? The silence said it all. Ethan? She pressed softly. She's gone. Gone where? Doesn't matter. Oh, honey, she whispered. You don't have to hide it from me. I'm not hiding. I just don't want to talk about it. You loved her. Yeah. My voice cracked. I did. I wish I could hug you right now. Me too, I said quietly. When the call ended, I stared at the dark screen until my eyes burned. Leo poked his head in. You okay? Not really, he nodded. Did you eat? No, he sighed. Come on. I'll make something. We didn't talk while we ate. I didn't taste anything anyway. After he went to bed, I opened my laptop. A blank document stared back at me. I typed, She said it was just a mistake. Then I kept going. Every lie, every half smile, every word she used to make me believe. The words poured out like blood from a cut that wouldn't close. I didn't know if I was writing to forget her or to remember exactly why I shouldn't forgive her. By 3 a.m., I had 10 pages of memories, our first date, her laugh the day I proposed. Then the night she shattered everything. The cursor blinked. My hands shook. Leo's door creaked open. You still up? Yeah. What are you doing? Writing. About her? About me, I said. He leaned on the doorframe. You think it'll help? Maybe, he nodded once. Don't let her keep you prisoner in your own head. I'm not, I lied. He walked back to his room. I stared at the document again. Maybe I wasn't trying to heal. Maybe I was preparing. I didn't know what for yet. But the thought made me breathe a little easier. The next morning, my phone buzzed again. Another post from Mia. This time she was at brunch with Chloe, both of them laughing. The caption read, "Real friends never leave." Chloe had been my friend too. I muttered to myself. Guess loyalty's flexible these days. Leo looked over. What now? She's with Chloe. So? She knows everything that happened and she's still there. He shrugged. That's how fake people work. They feed off each other. I exhaled slowly. I wish I could be that fake. Just smile and pretend, he gave me a look. No, you don't. That's not who you are. Maybe that's the problem. No, he said firmly. That's your strength. I didn't answer. I went back to the laptop, staring at the words again, line after line. I was building something I didn't yet understand. A record. A memory, a quiet storm waiting to be unleashed. Outside, the world kept spinning. Inside, I was standing still, but I knew one thing for sure. The man who'd believed in forever was gone. What was left of me was just learning how to breathe without her name in my chest. Leo dropped the idea while we were sitting on his balcony, watching the city lights flicker below. I talked to my manager today, he said, taking a sip of beer. There's an opening in our branch over in Crest Hill. You'd fit right in, I frowned. Crest Hill? That's 3 hours away. Exactly. Fresh start. New place, new faces. I don't need a new place. I just need time. He looked at me over the bottle. You've been saying that for months. Time's not healing you, Ethan. It's trapping you. I didn't answer. The night breeze brushed my face. I'm not ready, I said quietly. You'll never be, he replied. But maybe that's why you should go. Why are you pushing this? Because I'm tired of watching you fade, he said, his voice breaking a little. You're my best friend, man. I can't just sit here and let you drown. I stared at my hands. Crest Hill, huh? He nodded. It's a tech firm. They need a communications officer, pays well. I already told my manager about you. You talked to him without asking me? He shrugged. I figured you'd say no if I did. I let out a humorless laugh. You know me too well. I do, he said, smiling faintly. So what do you say? I looked out at the city again. The same streets, same lights, same ghosts. When do they need someone? Soon, he said. Next week, maybe. I exhaled slowly. All right. I'll think about it. He clinked his bottle against mine. That's all I needed to hear. 3 days later, I packed my bags. The drive to Crest Hill felt longer than it should have. Every song on the radio reminded me of something I didn't want to remember. When I finally pulled into the city, I didn't feel relief, just emptiness. Leo had set me up with a small apartment near the office. Clean, quiet, too quiet. The first day at work, I walked into a meeting room filled with strangers. A woman stood at the head of the table, giving instructions in a calm, firm voice. This project needs clean communication and fast execution, she said. No ego, no delays. She turned to me mid-sentence. You must be Ethan. Yeah, I said, clearing my throat. I'm Claire, she introduced herself. Project manager. Welcome aboard. Her handshake was firm, her gaze direct. There was no fake sweetness, no empty charm. Just focus. After the meeting, she walked up to my desk. You came from out of town, right? Yeah, a few hours away. Running from something or to something? I looked at her, surprised. What makes you ask that? She smiled slightly. Your eyes. People who move cities that fast usually have a reason. I just needed a change, I said. Good, she replied. Change means you're still trying. I didn't know what to say. For the next few days, we worked side by side. She was sharp, demanding, but fair. When others slacked, she called them out. When someone did well, she noticed. One evening, we were the last two in the office. The rain hit the windows in soft waves. You don't talk much, she said, glancing at me from her desk. I used to, I said. Guess I forgot how. That's a sad thing to forget. I gave a weak smile. You have no idea, she tilted her head. Maybe not, but I know what losing things feels like. I looked at her. You do? Yeah, lost my dad 2 years ago. Work helped me breathe again. Sorry, I said quietly. She nodded. Don't be. He'd tell me to stop crying and get back to living. I chuckled softly. Sounds like a good man. He was, she said. You remind me of him a little. Quiet, but thinking too much. Is that a compliment? Depends, she said with a smirk. Do you take it as one? I found myself smiling. An actual smile, not the kind I'd been forcing for months. Yeah, I said. I think I do. She leaned back in her chair. Good. Because you look like someone who's forgotten what that feels like. Her words hit deeper than she knew. For a moment, I saw Mia's face flash in my mind, the lies, the betrayal, the ring I'd thrown away. But then I looked at Claire, and the image faded. Maybe the world wasn't trying to fix me. Maybe it was giving me space to rebuild. She stood up, grabbing her coat. Come on. You look like you need food that isn't coffee. I don't want to intrude. You're not. I'm starving. You're driving, I laughed quietly. You always this direct? Always, she said. People waste too much time pretending. As we walked out, she added, You ever think about what you'd do differently if you could start over? Every day. And? I'd listen less to people who said they loved me, I said. She nodded thoughtfully. Then maybe now you'll start listening to yourself. That line stayed with me the whole night. Over dinner, she made me laugh more than I had in months. She didn't ask about Mia, didn't pity me, didn't treat me like I was broken. She just talked and listened. When I dropped her off, she smiled. See? You can still smile without faking it. I didn't realize I was. That's how it starts, she said, turning away. And for the first time since my world fell apart, I believed her. It had been 6 months. 6 months of silence, of learning how to breathe again. Work was steady. Claire and I talked almost every day. She didn't fix me. She just made the world quieter. Then my phone rang. I didn't recognize the number at first. When I answered, a voice I'd tried to erase came through. Ethan, she whispered. My stomach tightened. Mia, you answered, she said, half laughing, half crying. What do you want? I just wanted to talk. There's nothing left to talk about. Please. Just one coffee. I need to see you. I almost hung up, but something in her voice, desperation maybe, made me pause. One coffee, I said. Nothing more, she exhaled, shaky. Thank you. The cafe was quieter than I remembered. I got there first, picked a table near the window. When Mia walked in, I almost didn't recognize her. Her hair was unkempt, her eyes dull. The confidence she used to wear like perfume was gone. She stopped in front of me. Hi, you look... Good, she said softly. You don't, she flinched. I deserve that. I folded my hands. So why am I here? She sat down, clutching her bag like it was the only thing keeping her steady. I made a mistake, she started. I know. I thought Daniel... I raised a hand. Don't say his name, she swallowed. He left 2 months after everything. Said I wasn't what he wanted anymore. I let out a breath through my nose. Karma's fast these days, her eyes filled with tears. Don't say that. What did you expect me to say? That I'm sorry he hurt you? She looked down. I don't want pity. I wanted to see you, to tell you I was wrong. You were, I said. She winced. You have every right to hate me. I don't hate you. Her eyes lifted, hopeful. You don't? No, I said. I just don't care anymore. That broke her. She covered her mouth, sobbing quietly. People glanced over, but I didn't move. You said once, she whispered, that I was your home. I did. And now you're a story I learned from. She stared at me like she didn't understand the words. Ethan, I miss you. Every day. I can't sleep. I keep thinking about how good you were to me. I was good because I loved you, I said. You just loved what that gave you. That's not true, she said, her voice rising. I loved you too. Then why cheat? Her lip trembled. I don't know. I was stupid. I wanted to feel wanted again. I laughed once, bitterly. You had that every single day. You just didn't know what it looked like. She reached across the table. Please, Ethan, give me another chance. I pulled my hand away. No? Why not? You said you don't hate me. Because forgiveness isn't the same as reunion, I said quietly. I moved on. Her eyes widened. There's someone else? I didn't answer. She leaned back. There is. Outside, I saw Claire through the window. She was waiting at the corner, phone in hand, watching me with quiet worry. Mia followed my gaze. Who's she? Someone who doesn't lie when she smiles. Her face crumpled. Is that what I am to you now? A liar? No, I said. You're a lesson. Tears streamed down her cheeks. I can't live with what I did. You already are, I said. That's punishment enough, she shook her head. You sound so cold. I had to be, I said. It's the only way I survived. She looked at me for a long time, as if trying to find the man she used to know. You've changed. I had to, I repeated. She whispered. Do you still think about me? Sometimes, I admitted. But not the way you want me to. What way then? As a reminder, I said. That love without respect is just self-destruction. Her voice cracked. I never meant to destroy you. You didn't, I said. You destroyed the version of me that needed you. She pressed a trembling hand to her chest. I wish I could undo it. So do I said softly. But we can't. Silence settled between us. Her coffee sat untouched. Finally, she stood. Goodbye, Ethan. Goodbye, Mia. As she walked away, I saw her glance back once, eyes full of regret, face hollow. When I stepped outside, Claire was waiting. She looked like she'd seen a ghost, Claire said. She did, I replied. You okay? I think so, she smiled gently. Then let's go home. For the first time, that word didn't hurt anymore. Mia started texting again a week after the cafe. Can we talk? I just want to stay friends. You were the only real thing I had. I didn't respond. Not at first. But I read every word, like someone watching an old movie they already knew the ending to. Sometimes I'd type a reply, then delete it. I wasn't angry anymore, just tired, Claire noticed. She always did. You're distracted again, she said one evening at work, handing me a report. Just a text, I muttered. From her? Yeah, what did she say this time? That she misses talking to me. Claire raised an eyebrow. And? I didn't reply, she nodded. Good, I smirked. You always this strict? Only when it's deserved, she said. You've worked too hard to crawl back into her shadow. I leaned back in my chair. You make it sound easy. It's not, she said, her tone softening. But it's worth it. Weeks passed. Mia's messages piled up, apologies, memories, questions with no answers. One night she sent, I saw your photo with that woman. Is she the reason you won't talk to me? I stared at the screen for a while, then typed, No, you're the reason. Then I put my phone face down and went to sleep. Claire and I had grown close, closer than I'd planned. She didn't try to fix me. She just made me see things I'd ignored. We were walking home one night when she said, You ever think about the person you were before all this? All the time, I said, and? I don't recognize him, she smiled. Good. That means you're changing. Change isn't always good, I said. It is when it's survival, she replied. That line stuck with me. The night it happened, I was in my apartment cleaning up. A framed photo of Claire and me from a work event sat on the counter. She'd been laughing in it. I'd been smiling, really smiling. Then came the knock. I opened the door and there she was, Mia. She looked lost, makeup smudged, eyes red, hair messy. Ethan, she said quietly. I didn't move. How did you find where I live? Leo told me. I just wanted to talk. You shouldn't be here. I know. But I had to see you. I stepped aside reluctantly. 5 minutes. She walked in slowly, eyes scanning the room like she was searching for memories that weren't hers anymore. You redecorated, she said, forcing a small smile. I moved. Oh, she hesitated. It feels different. It should, I said. Her gaze landed on the photo. The smile on her face vanished. That's her, she whispered. Yes. She's beautiful. She is, I said simply. Mia swallowed hard. So you replaced me? No, I met her eyes. I healed. The words hung in the air like thunder after lightning. Her lips trembled. That easy for you? Nothing about this was easy, I said. But I stopped letting you define what I deserved. She blinked back tears. I thought you'd always be waiting. I was, I said. Until I realized you never looked back. She moved closer. Can't we just start over? No, I said. We already ended. She shook her head. You don't mean that. I do, I said quietly. You wanted to feel wanted. You got that. Now I want peace. Her tears fell freely now. Does she make you happy? Yes, she let out a broken laugh. Then I guess I got what I deserved. Maybe we both did, I said. She looked around again, like she was seeing the truth for the first time. You're not the same person. I hope not, I said. The old me would have begged you to stay. And now I hope you find whatever it is you were looking for. Just not here. She nodded slowly, defeated. I didn't expect this to hurt so much. That's what happens when you finally see the mirror, I said. She frowned. The mirror? The reflection of what you did, I said. And what it made of me. For a moment, she just stood there, quiet, small, trembling. I'm sorry, Ethan, she whispered. I know, I said. But sorry doesn't change the past. It only shows you see it now. She looked at me one last time. Goodbye. Goodbye, Mia. When the door closed, I felt light. Not angry, not sad, just free. My phone buzzed moments later. A text from Claire. You okay? Yeah, I typed. She came by and she saw the photo. There was a pause, then, how do you feel? Like I finally closed a book I kept rereading for no reason. Claire replied, That's growth, Ethan. No, I wrote back, smiling faintly. That's healing. I looked at the photo again, the one Mia had stared at like it was proof of everything she lost. To me, it wasn't proof. It was a reflection of everything I'd found. For the first time, the mirror didn't hurt to face. Claire dropped a stack of reports on my desk and grinned. Guess what? Our campaign just hit 2 million views. I blinked. 2 million? Trending everywhere. People love it, she said. You're officially the golden boy of Crest Hill, I laughed. That's your doing, not mine. Teamwork, she said. But don't get humble on me now. The boss wants to meet about a promotion. Promotion? Yep, communications lead. I leaned back, shaking my head. I don't even know how to react. Try smiling. It suits you, I chuckled. Thanks, Claire. She gave me a look. For what? For believing in me when I didn't. Her voice softened. I just reminded you who you were. That night, I got a text from Mia. I saw the news. Congratulations, Ethan. I'm happy for you. For a moment, I just stared at it. The irony was sharp enough to taste. I didn't reply. Out of habit, I checked her profile. The once perfect grid of smiles and filters was gone. Now it was full of gray captions, sad quotes, and photos of empty wine glasses. Sometimes love destroys the wrong person. If I could go back, I'd never let go. The comments beneath were brutal. Someone wrote, "Didn't you cheat on him?" Another added, "Karma always circles back." I scrolled further. Daniel had posted something too, a screenshot of their old messages. Her begging him not to leave. His caption read, "Attention has a price." The thread below was chaos. People dragging both of them. Laughing, dissecting the drama like vultures. I should have felt pity. I didn't, just a quiet sense of balance. At work the next day, Claire noticed I was distracted. "You look miles away," she said. "I saw something online," I admitted. "Bad? Not for me. Her?" "Yeah," Claire folded her arms. "You checked, didn't you?" "I didn't mean to. It just popped up, and?" "She's falling apart." Claire tilted her head. "And that makes you feel what exactly?" I hesitated. "Nothing. Maybe peace," she nodded slowly. "That's good. Peace means you've detached." "I guess," I said. "It's strange. I used to imagine revenge or her begging or karma hitting, but now that it's here, it doesn't feel like victory. Because real closure isn't loud," she said softly. "It's just quiet understanding." I looked at her and smiled faintly. "You sound like a therapist," she smirked. "Maybe I'm just someone who's healed a few scars." That evening, I met Leo for drinks. He raised his glass. "To my boy, Mr. Promotion." "Don't jinx it," I said, clinking his glass. "Man, you're practically glowing." "New job, new girl, new life," I laughed. "You make it sound like I got reborn." He grinned. "You kind of did. Remember the wreck you were? Now look at you." I sipped my drink, the taste sharp but satisfying. "Yeah, it's weird. I don't even recognize the guy I was." Leo leaned forward. "She texted you, didn't she?" I sighed. "How do you always know?" You have that look, the I read it but didn't reply face, I smirked. You're right. What did she say? I'm happy for you. He barked out a laugh. Oh, that's rich. Yeah, I said. Her profile says otherwise. Leo's grin faded. She's spiraling, huh? Badly. Daniel exposed her online. Everyone turned on her. He shook his head. Karma really clocked in overtime. Guess so. You feel sorry for her? I thought about it. No, just detached. Like I'm watching a storm from behind glass. That's progress, he said. Silence is the best revenge, my friend. I didn't plan revenge. Exactly, Leo said. That's what makes it perfect. Later that night, Claire called. Still awake? She asked. Barely. I saw the announcement, she said. You got the promotion. I smiled. I did? Check your email. I opened it. The confirmation letter stared back at me. You were right. I usually am, she teased. Thank you, Claire. For what? For helping me rebuild. I didn't rebuild you, she said softly. You did that yourself. I just handed you the hammer, I laughed quietly. Still, I owe you. You don't owe anyone, she replied. Just keep growing. That's all I want for you. There was a pause. Claire? I said, yeah? You ever think about how people only realize what they lost after it's too late? All the time, she said. But some lessons have to hurt to stick. I exhaled slowly. She's learning that now. I know, Claire said. But you're finally free. Her voice was soft, certain, grounding. I smiled. Yeah, I think I am. Before sleeping, I checked my messages one last time. Another text from Mia. I still believe we were meant to be. I didn't reply. I didn't even delete it. I just let it sit there, unread, like a ghost that couldn't touch me anymore. Sometimes silence says everything words can't, and in that silence, I realized something. Revenge doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it just watches quietly as the truth does its own work. It showed up on a Tuesday morning. No sender name. Just my address in her handwriting, still neat, still familiar. Claire noticed me staring at it over breakfast. You okay? She asked. I think it's from her, I said. Mia? Yeah. Claire's hand paused over her coffee. Are you going to open it? I hesitated. I don't know. You don't have to, she said gently. You owe her nothing. I know, I murmured, tracing the edge of the envelope. But maybe I need to see what ghosts still want to say. Claire nodded once. Then read it. I'll give you space. I waited until she left for work. The apartment was quiet, the kind of quiet that makes your thoughts louder. I sat by the window and opened the letter. Her handwriting pulled me back in time. Ethan, I know I have no right to ask you to read this. I ruined us. I hurt you. But I can't carry the silence anymore. I saw your photos online. You look happy. I tell myself I'm glad, but it burns. I wanted to be the reason you smiled like that. Instead, I'm the reason you stopped smiling for months. Daniel left. My friends disappeared. I lost my job. Maybe it's karma, maybe it's just what I deserve. But none of it hurts as much as knowing you moved on while I'm stuck here, wishing I could undo everything. If I could turn back time, I'd choose you again. Every time. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I finally understand what I destroyed. Mia, I folded it back carefully, like it might shatter if I moved too fast. My chest felt tight, but not broken. Just heavy, I whispered to no one. You're late, Mia. Claire came home that evening, dropping her keys on the counter. Did you open it? I did, she sat beside me. Do you want to talk about it? I held up the folded pages. She apologized. Claire nodded. Do you believe her? Yeah, I said. But it doesn't change anything. What did she say? That she finally understands what she lost. Claire tilted her head. And do you? I smiled faintly. Yeah, I understand what I found. She smiled back, soft and knowing. Then you're done looking backward. I think so, I said. I kept waiting for closure, but I think it just came in an envelope. She reached for my hand. So what now? I looked at her fingers intertwined with mine. Now I stopped reading the past. Later that night, I found the box in my closet, the one where I kept old photos, ticket stubs, tiny pieces of who I used to be. The letter went in last. I wrote one word across the lid, past. Then I closed it, locked it, and pushed it to the back of the shelf. when I walked back into the living room. Claire was waiting. You did it, she said quietly. I did. How do you feel? Light, I said. Like I finally exhaled after holding my breath too long. She smiled. Then let's make new memories to fill the space you just cleared. I laughed softly. Any ideas? She thought for a second. Let's take a trip. No phones, no plans. Just go. Where? Anywhere that doesn't remind you of her. I grinned. That narrows it down, she nudged me. Then start with somewhere that reminds you of you. That line hit harder than I expected. Okay, I said quietly. Let's stop looking back. We stood by the window for a while, city lights flickering against the glass. Claire slipped her hand into mine. You sure you're ready? For once, I said. I really am. The night outside felt different, less heavy, less haunted, and as she leaned her head on my shoulder, I realized the truth. Closure wasn't something Mia could give me. It was something I had to choose. I looked down at Claire and whispered, Thank you. For what? She asked. For showing me that healing doesn't mean forgetting, it means forgiving myself, she smiled. Then you finally did it, I nodded. Yeah, I did. The letter stayed locked away, a relic of a version of me that no longer existed. For the first time, I didn't feel tempted to reread it. I didn't want to rewrite the past anymore. I just wanted to live the next page. It happened by accident. I was scrolling through my notifications one quiet Sunday morning when I saw it. Mia liked your post. For a moment, I just stared at the screen. My coffee went cold, Claire noticed. You okay? Yeah, I said, even though my thumb was still hovering over her name. It's just... Mia, Claire raised an eyebrow. She reached out? No, just a like. After a year? Yeah, I murmured. Guess ghosts still scroll too. Claire smiled faintly. You don't have to open it. I know, I said, already tapping her name. But I want to see. Her profile loaded slowly, like time hesitating to move forward. Her last post was from 3 weeks ago. A picture of a sunset, captioned, Trying Again. No comments. Just a few pity likes. I kept scrolling. Photos of dinners with no smiles. Captions that tried too hard. The girl who once lit up rooms now hid behind filters. Claire leaned over. So that's her now? Yeah, I said quietly. She still follows me. She's watching you live, Claire said. Maybe, I said. Or maybe she's just trying to remember what happiness looked like. Claire touched my arm. Does it bother you? I thought about it. No, I said finally. It used to. Now it just feels distant. I scrolled back to my own profile. Photos of our team. Dinners with friends, random sunsets Claire forced me to take. One photo stood out. Me and Claire at the company gala. Both laughing mid-shot. The caption read, Grateful for the storms that taught me how to stand in the sun. Nice line, Claire said. You wrote it, I reminded her. She grinned. Still sounds good when you say it, I chuckled. Maybe that's why she liked it. You think she regrets it? Claire asked. I think she's human, I said. Regret comes with that. Claire looked at me carefully. And you? I don't regret loving her, I said. I regret losing myself in the process. She nodded slowly. That's a strong answer. It took me long enough to learn it. I set my phone down. You know what's strange? I don't hate her anymore. That's not strange, Claire said. That's growth. I used to imagine all kinds of revenge, I admitted. Her seeing me happy was one of them. But now it doesn't feel like revenge. It just feels right. Claire smiled softly. Because you moved on without needing to win. Exactly, I said. I stopped running from the pain. That's when it stopped chasing me. She leaned closer. So what are you going to do about that, like? Nothing, I said, taking her hand. Let her scroll. Let her see what peace looks like. We sat in silence for a while, sunlight painting the floor gold. Claire whispered, You really forgave her, didn't you? Yeah, I said. Not for her. For me. She squeezed my hand. Then you've already won, I smiled. Maybe I never lost. Hours later, when she fell asleep on the couch, I looked at my phone again. Mia's name sat there like a faint echo of another life. I opened her profile one last time, then hit Remove Follower. It didn't feel like revenge. It felt like release, I whispered to myself. Some people aren't meant to stay. They're just mirrors showing us who we don't want to be anymore. I glanced at Claire sleeping beside me. Soft and real. I took a picture, not for social media, just for memory. Then I whispered, "Goodbye, Mia," and put my phone face down. The night outside was calm. The world finally quiet. And for the first time, I didn't feel watched. I just felt free. The first night in our new home, I stood by the window, watching the city lights stretch into forever. Claire's voice came from behind me. "You're quiet." "That's either good or dangerous," I smiled. "Just thinking. About her?" I turned toward her. "Not really. More about me," she raised an eyebrow. "You? That's new." "Yeah," I said softly. For a long time, my thoughts were all about her, what she did, what I lost. But now, I'm just thinking about who I became because of it. Claire walked closer, wrapping her arms around my waist. "Then tell me, who are you now?" I looked out at the skyline again. Someone who doesn't break when someone else leaves. Someone who knows his worth without needing someone to remind him. She smiled. "That sounds like a man I could love." "You already do," I said. She laughed quietly. "True, but I like hearing you say it." I leaned my forehead against the window. "You know what's strange? I don't hate Mia anymore." Claire didn't answer at first. "Then, that's not strange. It means you healed." "I used to think forgiveness meant weakness," I said. Like I was letting her win. But it's the opposite. I forgave her because I refused to let her live rent-free in my head. Claire squeezed my hand. "You grew up." "Pain does that," I murmured. "It's a harsh teacher, but it never lies." She tilted her head. "If she showed up right now, what would you say to her?" I thought for a moment. "Nothing cruel. I'd probably just say thank you." Claire blinked. "Thank you?" "Yeah," I said. "Because if she hadn't broken me, I wouldn't have rebuilt myself into someone better. Her betrayal forced me to face everything I ignored. My dependence, my fears, my need to be chosen." She looked at me softly. "So you're grateful for the pain?" "In a twisted way, yeah. It taught me to stand alone before learning to stand beside someone again." Claire let go and walked toward the kitchen. "You know, not everyone could say that. Some people stay bitter forever. I almost did," I admitted. "But bitterness doesn't protect you, it traps you. I wanted peace more than I wanted revenge." She handed me a glass of water. "So, peace tastes like water now?" I smiled. "Tastes better than whiskey," she laughed. "I'll take your word for it." We sat on the floor, surrounded by half-unpacked boxes. Claire said, "You really changed." "I had to," I replied. "If I didn't, her betrayal would still own me. What changed first?" "My reflection," I said. "I stopped looking for the man she loved and started looking for the man I wanted to be." Claire leaned against me. "And who's that man?" I thought about it carefully. Someone who listens more. Who doesn't run when things hurt. Who loves without losing himself," she smiled. "Then I like him already," I laughed. "Good, he's taken." Later that night, when she fell asleep beside me, I went back to the window. The city shimmered below, thousands of stories, millions of lights. I whispered, "I made it." For a moment, I saw flashes of who I used to be, angry, broken, lost in the dark. Then I saw who I was now, calm, steady, free. It wasn't about Mia anymore. It wasn't even about revenge or justice. It was about growth. Claire stirred, half awake. "What are you smiling about?" "Just life," I said. "Good kind or painful kind?" "The kind that feels earned," I said. "The kind where every scar makes sense," she smiled sleepily. "Then keep smiling, Ethan. You deserve it." I looked at her and whispered, "Yeah, for once I believe that." Before turning off the lights, I thought of Mia one last time, not with anger, not with longing, just gratitude. She was the storm that wrecked me, but storms end. And when they do, the sky feels bigger. I whispered to the night. "I forgive you," then I added, "and I forgive myself." As I climbed into bed, Claire turned toward me, her voice barely above a whisper. "You okay?" "Yeah," I said. "I'm free," she smiled against my chest. "Then that's the man I fell for." I kissed her forehead, closed my eyes, and let the quiet fill the room. For the first time, it wasn't silence. It was peace.